Hey guys, how's it going? Good to see all of you. There's my long lost brother. Mark, glad you can make it. Mark's even showing up early. Jerry Blackburn, good to have you. Kip, good to see you. Matt, good to see you. Frank, good to see you, man. Doing well, doing well. Well, be careful, Mark. Be careful on them roads. There's some crazy folks out there. Crazy folks out there. Keith, how you doing, man? Keith, I'm still feeling about the same. No change. So I think I'm fixing to see another doctor, I do believe. Good day, Gavin. Good day, mate. Gavin, I guess that coffee mug's traveling across the outback right now, I guess. It's getting closer to you, man. Getting closer to you. There you go. Cheers. Keith, did you get my care package? Good, John. How you doing? Keith, if you're asking me, I have not gotten a care package. Vegemite taste test tonight. No, but it's going to be close, Matt. I'm going to announce when I'm going to do it. But I've got a couple more things I'm going to taste for you tonight as a little preview. Mark got my mug and shirt today. Awesome, Mark. Awesome. Hope everything got to you well. Smiley, he's ready for Bristol. Jimbo Q, good morning. Well, it is here. Where you at, Jimbo Q? I'll probably asked you that before. My memory's terrible. I hear you, John. Well, I hope your wife don't mind. Justin, good evening. Man says it was delivered Tuesday. Delivered Tuesday. What'd you send, Keith? Did you send the Grilla Grill stuff? Afghanistan, that's right, Jimbo. Yeah, God bless you, man. Get home safe. Keith, man, I was wondering where that came from. I had no idea. I didn't know if Grilla had just sent it for the heck of it or what was going on, man. That's awesome. Thank you, man. Yeah, there was nothing on the thing, and I was like, well, I know I didn't order anything from Grilla Grills, and man, that's awesome, Keith. Thank you, man. Keith sent me a whole thing of sauces and a couple of rubs and a Grilla Grill, like a sauce holder, a sauce caddy. That thing's awesome, man. Thank you. You didn't have to do that, man. I appreciate that. That's awesome, man. I had no idea where that came from. Oh, sneaky joker. Mark, I'm glad you enjoy it. I hope everything fit well and everything got to you good. I got some of the sauces and rubs and stuff, but that's awesome, man. Awesome. Good stuff. I appreciate all of you joining. AJ, good evening. Good to see you. Hope I hadn't missed anybody. Mike Tabor, good to see you, man. Yeah, no kidding, Mark. I'll try to keep it calm tonight. I don't think I've got any trigger topics tonight, to be honest with you. There you go. That's right, Kip. That's right. Well, tonight I did some flat iron steaks from Butcher Box, and I'll tell you what I cooked them on in a little while. We'll get to that a little later. Well, say hello to Kelly and tell her to keep piddling. That's good stuff, John. I like it. I like when the better halves get involved. Matt, the baptism went well. My daughter did great. It was a great day. It really was. It was a great day. I'm so proud of her. I don't know what to do. It was really nice. Thank you for asking. Kip, I'm fixing to get to that right now. Glad you asked that because that's a great topic I want to talk about. John, I already said I don't have an accent. Y'all got an accent. I don't have an accent. I'm talking normal. So let's get started, guys. I think all the key players are here, which all of my subscribers are key players, and I hope more people keep tuning in. Well, let's get started. Tonight's topics. We'll talk a quick note about Iron Bean Coffee Company, and then we're going to get into the land down under, Australia. I got some interesting items from Gavin in Australia. We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about the myths video that I did Saturday. I believe it was Saturday or Sunday. The first of a series of 4, at least 4. I think I might have added another one today, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But that video went well, and I've gotten some great responses from it. We'll talk about that a little bit more. Then we're going to talk about a topic that I get asked a lot, and it has to do with smoke flavors and smoke profiles and different kinds of flavors you get off of different types of grills. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. Then we're going to talk about a new toy that I got, thanks to my brother, my wonderful brother. God bless him. I love you, boy. And then we're going to announce, well, I'll probably do that in just a minute. We'll talk about the dreaded Vegemite. So let's get going. First off, Fred and Chanel, Iron Bean Coffee Company. I know a lot of you have started ordering coffee from Iron Bean Coffee Company. And for those of you that have, I'm sure you'll attest to the fact that it's awesome coffee and awesome people. And that's why I want to mention it, because, again, behind everything it's about the people behind it, you know. And whether I'm succeeding or not, I try to be a good person behind my channel brand. And that's what I get from Fred and Chanel at Iron Bean Coffee Company. And I got another package from them this week. And in it, I got 2 coffees. Cast iron is one, and that one's right here. That happens to be in my mug right here. And I also got Loki, my wife and I. My wife drinks more coffee than I do. And we got another mug. And I got to tell you, I thought that we had found our new favorite coffee of all time when we tried Rage Against the Dying of the Light. You know, we've tried the Rocco. That was good. It's different. It's got a different finish on the end of it, but it's good. And then we tried Integrity. The Integrity is really good, but that Rage was off the chain good. And I thought, Kip, thank you. That's why I like this stuff right here, because y'all keep giving me great ideas. I thought that the Rage was the GOAT. I mean, the greatest of all time. I really did. As a matter of fact, I almost contacted Fred and told him they needed to put a GOAT or something on that bag. But then I got cast iron. That is going to have to be the greatest of all time coffee ever. It is amazing. And it says on there that it's roasted in a cast iron skillet. So I got on their website just to, you know, I like to do my research and verify things. And this is what it says about cast iron: roasted over an open flame in a cast iron vessel. The coffee after our own name, which is Iron Bean Coffee. Now that's awesome. Number one, because that fits right into my channel. And, you know, I love my cast iron that I have, but I never remember, and Harley will tell you, I never remember a week going by hardly that my mama didn't cook in a cast iron skillet at some point during the week. And so that fits right in to my wheelhouse. But the coffee, the taste of the coffee is just like you would find in like one of those small town coffee shops. You know, not the big name brand coffee shops, but just your mom and pop coffee shops, cafes, you know. And when you go in there, that smell that you get when you smell their coffee, it's almost like you can taste it just from smelling it. And it even says in here, you know, typically the coffee here has notes of citrus, chocolate, and caramel, but you get that chocolate and caramel definitely in that. And that's what I like about it. I like that little chocolate taste. Even like sometimes, you know, it's rare, but on occasion, me and Harley have got us a stogie or two, and I always like the chocolate flavors, you know, and that's kind of like the coffee. And man, that cast iron is off the chain. And so that is, so far, the GOAT of all coffees. Fred, great to have y'all. You and Chanel, awesome, awesome. And that coffee is the best I've ever had, ever. Jim K, good to have you. No, it's Jim says strong like Waffle House coffee. This is not like that. Now the Integrity is a little stronger. The Integrity is a little stronger. I'm telling you, that cast iron is. I don't know. I don't know if there's going to be anything else that's going to beat that. If you haven't ordered cast iron, and you've been ordering from Iron Bean Coffee Company, order some cast iron and tell me what you think. But to me, it's the GOAT of all time. It's the Drew Estates Java of coffee. And Drew Estates Java, to me, is the GOAT of cigars. Great point, Harley. But it's awesome. Rhonda, good to have you in here, girl. Rhonda, what'd you grill yesterday? TC Too Cool, good to have you. Good to have you. Justin Stanley, everybody. Fred, I'm glad you're in here, because I didn't know if I needed to mention this or not. But I want to, because I want to talk about what's behind it, is what I really want to talk about. But in the package that I got from Iron Bean Coffee Company, they sent me this patch. Y'all see it right there? Iron Bean Riders. And man, it's awesome. And I've got to decide. Me and my wife have been talking about what I'm going to put it on. I don't know if I need to get a vest, like a biker vest, which I've always wanted one. Now I just need a bike to go with it. And I'm gonna talk to Fred about that too. But I mean, it's a 14-inch biker patch is what it is, and it's amazing. And I did some research on that. I mean, I do research on everything. But about the patch, it's worn by the Iron Bean Riders of Ohio. Okay, so it's kind of like a biker group. Okay, and it's an organized group, and they raise money. They raise funds. It's kind of like a fundraising type deal, and they bring awareness to a lot of different causes. And again, you know, I'm so blessed to have this channel, and I never expected when I started a barbecue channel that it would get to be something like this. But it's more about the fellowship and about the relationships that I've made with people. And like everybody that's on here now, all my subscribers and all these people are I'm blessed, is all I can say. But then to be associated with Fred and Chanel and this group here, these are some of the organizations that they raise money for and fundraise for and ride for. Military veteran support, volunteer fire, volunteer EMS, ER nursing, first responders, animal abuse, animal welfare, child abuse, and to fight against bullying. And all of those things, you know, and Fred's saying that it's a super small group. But, you know, everybody started somewhere, number one. And number two, all of those organizations, I don't care how small it is, just anybody that even recognizes the fact that these organizations are organizations that every community needs and that they need community support, I think that's awesome. So again, I'm glad to be associated with Fred and Chanel and Iron Bean Coffee Company, because as great as their products are, the people behind the products are even greater. And so I just want to tell Fred and Chanel, thanks for everything that y'all do. And Fred, I mean, you know, I mean, when I tell you Semper Fi, man, I'm glad to be associated with you. And that's the truth. And I sent you a message on Instagram, the Instagram Messenger, Fred. If you hadn't got it, check that. But that patch right there, I told you in the message. That patch will mean just as much to me as an Eagle Globe and Acre that I got on Paris Island, brother. So I'll truly cherish that, and I know that that meant a lot when you sent it. So I appreciate that. So thank you, and I mean that. So that's Iron Bean Coffee Company, guys. If you hadn't blessed yourself by getting some, get some, because it's great coffee, but they're great people, great service. They're always putting personal notes in their shipments to you and everything. And yeah, man, I know y'all are busy and y'all are working your tails off at your regular jobs and then at home too, you know. But I just want to let you know that. So, you know, I've gotten a small taste of that, not near on y'all's level, but just with the orders, you know, coming in and stuff too, shipping the shirts and stuff like that, you know, I could see how it could be overwhelming pretty quick. But that's Iron Bean Coffee Company. So thank y'all for y'all's support with supporting Iron Bean Coffee Company. So Justin Stanley, weekly stipend, man. Justin, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to get you a Matt. Hello, Texas. Good to have you, Matt. Yeah, we're about to talk some Vegemite. Golly. All right, let's talk Australia. I got a package today, or actually, was it yesterday? Yesterday, from the land down under, my man Gavin. It got here, and I've got the box sitting right up on my shelf right there that I keep all my shipping supplies on. And I'm just going to keep it there because, I mean, How often do I get Kip? Thank you, man. Fred, don't do that, man. Y'all are bigger helping us. Steven, thank you, man. Steven, your stuff's on the way. You might have already got it. I'm not sure. You'll get it tomorrow, probably, I bet, Steven. And thank you, Kip, for doing that for Steven. Steven, I threw in something a little extra too, buddy. And our prayers are with you. I hope you get what you need is how I'll say it. Anyway, the shipment from Gavin, man, I laughed, and it was a great package. Let's put it that way. And before we get to this thing here, he sent a lot of stuff from Australia, and it's pretty cool stuff. So I just want to show it to you real quick. He sent some barbecue sauce, Outback Spirit Provenance barbecue sauce. I don't know if y'all can see that. And all this stuff is like made in Australia. This is like from Victoria, Australia, I think it says. But that looks really good, so I'm going to try that in one of my videos. And then he sent some Patton's Great Australian Bites. Obviously, I've opened them. But this is chili peanuts in milk chocolate. So these things are it's like a peanut that has like a chili rub on it. And then it's covered in chocolate. And I mean, these things are good. They're good. And then this one, which is the goat of all great Australian bites. This one is honey hazelnuts covered in milk chocolate. Look at that. Awesome. These things are great. I'll quit crunching on them, but they are great. Then he sent these, which are seasoned salts, Outback Spirit. And I mean, you can smell them through the bag. They smell, this one is Tasmanian pepper salt. Y'all can see that kind of. Tasmanian pepper salt. And so it suggests for like putting it over like sliced in half, maybe Roma tomatoes or something, and roasting them with that stuff on there. I mean, it smells amazing. And this one, I think I cut it open when I cut open the box. That's why I've got it in this thing. But it smells so good. It's wild herb salt. So it's like salts with different seasonings in them, and they smell amazing. So those are going to be used in some of my videos, definitely. And then, if there's not any children present, and he had sent me a message. First of all, to me, or people here in Georgia, this is called a koozie, right? What else do y'all call these? Harley, what are you doing, man? Bless you, brother. You guys are amazing. I'm going to tell you. Y'all tell me what this is called. I call it a koozie. World of Barbecue. I appreciate you. I appreciate every single one of you. Well, Gavin calls this a stubby holder. A stubby. So this is what you put your stubby in. Now you can hold your comments. Just hold your comments, because I know what's going to happen. A stubby holder. Okay, well, Gavin told me, I hope you don't get offended by my stubby holder. First of all, I didn't know what a damn stubby holder was. But this is a stubby holder. And keep in mind, he's from the Northern Territory, okay, in Australia. And so the stubby holder says, see you in the Northern Territory. So I had a good laugh from the stubby holder. Thank you, Gavin. That was good. That's good stuff. You can't make this stuff up. So yeah, there went Smiley. See, Smiley took it to a whole nother level. So last but not least was the Vegemite. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and tell you. First of all, I tried to get Harley because Harley was here yesterday. And I tried to get Harley to try it, and he wouldn't try it. But I did open it. And I have to confess, I did taste just a smidge of it yesterday. I couldn't stand it. All right. Vegemite. It says on the jar, start happy with Vegemite. And it's supposed to be healthy. It's got B1 and B2 and B3 and folate and all kinds of. It says Vegemite, B vitamins for vitality. Proudly made in Australia. But the smell of it, it smells like bread a little bit. I mean, it smells like a loaf of bread. When you first open up a fresh loaf of bread and you would smell it, it smells like a loaf of bread, like yeast, you know, and it's some kind of derivative from yeast. But then it also has a smell like a very, very cheap Cheese Whiz or something. But look at it. Look at it. It's like axle grease. Or Harley said it smells like canned ravioli. Well, this is not Chef Boy. Try it as a new rub. Golly. Well, let me tell you something. I looked this up, just like everything else. People in Australia use this stuff to like make spaghetti, like Vegemite spaghetti and Vegemite cheesecakes, and I mean all kinds of crazy stuff. They put this in. I'm telling you, this jar right here is a lifetime supply. I promise you. You would never use that whole jar. I would never use that whole jar. Gavin might. I would never use this whole jar. However, here's what we're going to do. Everybody keeps saying you need to do it live. You need to do it live. But I want to do it live at a time where more people can tune in. So here's what I'm going to do. And hopefully some of you don't miss it, but it's going to post anyway. Saturday at 2:00 p.m., I'm going to do the Vegemite taste testing. Okay? Saturday at 2 p.m., and I'll put it on Facebook and Instagram too, so everybody can tune in. And I hope that's good for most everybody. I know somebody's not going to be able to do it, but Saturday at 2 p.m., I figured everybody could chime in at 2 p.m. on Saturday if they're grilling something or whatever that case may be. And we're going to do the taste test. I'm going to do it just raw, straight off a spoon or something. And then I'm going to, because I feel like I'm cheating if I don't taste it raw. And then I'm going to do the traditional, like Gavin is saying, and put a little butter on the bread, toast the bread. Gavin, y'all toast the bread? Yeah, toast it, and then put some butter on there, and then Vegemite. Now, everybody that I've seen do it, and even Australians, put just a little dab and spread it on there. So I'm just doing a little dab. If they ain't doing a whole lot, I'm not doing a whole lot. I did taste it a smidge yesterday. I'll just leave it at that. But I'll give you the full rundown Saturday at 2 p.m. So y'all tune in for that. So that's the Vegemite. Gavin, great package, man. And you're going to see some of my videos are going to have this barbecue sauce and these seasoned salts in them. I'm looking forward to doing some of those seasoned salts on some fish, maybe some salmon. I've got some salmon and some tuna steaks in the freezer, and I'm going to do a video on one of them, so I'll use the seasoned salt for those. So that's going to be cool. So Vegemite taste test, Saturday, 2 p.m. Be there, be square. Yeah, I wouldn't be sorry either, Mark. I'd be on the island somewhere, and I'll have something in my stubby holder for the taste test. How about that? So that's awesome. That's awesome. That stubby holder that had me cracking up. That was good stuff. All right, yeah, it's going to be a chaser, all right. So that's the Australia stuff. All right, real quick, the video this past weekend, I did my first myth video, and it was the fat cap up or fat cap down argument video, and it was really more about the absorption of fat back into the meat than anything that I really wanted to talk about. Wow, Stephen, I mean that's an hour away, man. That's awesome. Hope y'all have a good time, man. Yeah, you're probably right, Matt. You're probably right. The only thing better would be to actually be in Australia when I try it. That would be great. Be out there on the outback with some kangaroos or something. That'd be cool. So the myth video. Whenever I do videos like that, I always expect some backlash, and some thumbs downs and some negative comments and, all that stuff. But I'm always surprised that it rarely ever happens. And I don't know if it's because the people that disagree don't want to disagree, or maybe they really understand what I said made sense. That'd be awesome if that was the case. Maybe I actually made sense and kind of talked some sense into somebody. That'd be cool. But I've gotten great responses off of that video so far. Everybody kind of agrees that it really doesn't matter a whole lot about the fat cap, and that it's certainly not going to absorb back into the meat. So I thought that was a pretty good first series for the barbecue myth series. Turned out pretty good. Had to pick up my daughter from school, play practice. Rick, I'm glad you made it, man. That's good stuff, Keith. Peter, good to have you, man. What the piss does that mean, Peter? Peter says Saturday is the 20th anniversary of my 29th birthday. Now, y'all decipher that. That's right, Kip. Now you can give him a hard time now for being late. Kip, now from now on, Kip gets to tell me when we can start the show. Rick, I didn't even know when to start the show today because you weren't here. He's 49. Well, Gavin figured it out. The 20th anniversary of my 29th birthday. 49, the big 49. Peter, we're not far apart. I'll be 47 in a couple of days. About 2 weeks. Kip, Rick, Saturday, 2 p.m. Vegemite test. Taste test. Vegemite. Good stuff. All right. That was the myth thing. Okay. Y'all tell me what you think about this. 72 was a great year, Stephen. There's no doubt about it. There was several goats born in 1972. That's a fact. First time y'all throw a brother under the bus. Yes, I did, Harley. We're going to talk about that in a minute. All right. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I get a lot of questions about smoke flavor. And specifically, a lot of people that have stick burners or charcoal grills, but specifically charcoal grills. But they're thinking about getting a pellet smoker. But they say, you know, they have heard from a lot of people that pellet smokers do not give a lot of smoke flavor. And for example, I just got a question this week from a guy. And a matter of fact, I told him to tune in tonight. I don't know if he did or not. But just wanted to know, you know, he said he likes a lot of smoke flavor and wants a pellet smoker, but didn't know if he would get the smoke flavor that he wanted. And here's my thoughts on that. First of all, let's address what smoke flavor is. And smoke flavor is different things to different people, first of all. So let's get that out of the way. And a lot of people I have heard say that come from charcoal grills to pellet smokers that they don't get as much smoke flavor as they did on the charcoal grill. Here's why I think that is, and I think I've talked about this before, but there's a different flavor that you get from wood burning and the smoke that comes off of wood rather than the flavor that comes off of charcoal. And for example, old Smiley, he you know, he went from a charcoal grill to a pellet smoker. You know, Harley has cooked on all kinds of different grills: charcoal, lump, briquette, real wood, pellets, you know, so have I. Sometimes I think a lot of people that are, and I don't, let me say this first before somebody gets triggered. I'm not saying that pellet smokers are better than charcoal or charcoal is better than this or that. That's not the issue. That's not what I'm talking about. But I think a lot of charcoal people that like charcoal grills, it's not so much. I think sometimes people get mixed up between charcoal flavor and wood smoke flavor. Okay. And I hope that makes sense. But like my wife does not like charcoal flavor. And even if I go out and cook burgers and I don't even tell her what grill I used, she knows whether or not it was cooked on charcoal or a pellet grill or not. And it's not the smoke flavor, it's the charcoal flavor. And so sometimes I think, especially if you've been cooking on a charcoal grill for a long time, and first of all, let me say, you can get a good smoke flavor on a charcoal grill. I'm not saying that. But there's also a hint of that bitterness or a hint of that charcoal flavor as well that you're going to get from a charcoal grill. And I think if you cook on charcoal for so long, you get accustomed to that flavor. And you also associate that flavor with, that's what smoke flavor is supposed to be like. So the mistake that people make is going to a pellet smoker, but still expecting that char bitterness, that charcoal taste that you get along with regular wood smoke. And if that's what you're expecting, you're going to be, and that's what you're wanting, then you're going to be disappointed because you're never going to get the charcoal flavor from a pellet smoker. But again, a pellet smoker is not meant to give you the charcoal flavor. And I don't mean this in the wrong way, but if you're wanting a charcoal flavor along with a smoke flavor, then just stay with a charcoal grill because you're not going to get it from a pellet smoker. And some people do complain that pellet smokers don't impart enough smoke to the meat for them. I've heard that to be said about stick burners too. You know, if you get a really good stick burner and you've got a clean burning fire, it's not going to put off a whole lot of smoke, especially if you've got it burning pretty well. Now, if you choke it down a little bit and start getting it a little more smoldering, it'll put off a little bit more smoke, but you run the risk of it being a bitter smoke. So there's a fine line there. So just understand that there's a purpose for each type of grill. But I think you have to be realistic and understand that you're not going to get a pure, clean smoke flavor like you do with a pellet smoker on a charcoal grill. And I don't think you're going to get a charred charcoal flavor along with smoke like you do on a charcoal grill with a pellet smoker. They're two different smokers. You know, I can cook ribs on a pellet smoker, and I can cook ribs on my pit barrel cooker with charcoal, and both of them are going to be dynamite, but I know distinctly which one was cooked on which, because the charcoal from the pit barrel cooker adds that charcoal flavor to it. Okay. Why? Because they're two different fuels. One is solid wood, and one is like if you get briquettes, it's charcoal with wood chip additives and additives to bind it together. Now, if you're cooking with lump, that's pure charcoal. Okay. And you can't expect the flavors to be the same if you're burning pure charcoal versus if you're burning pure wood, like for pellets or a stick burner, for example. Okay. Even if you add wood chunks to a charcoal grill, you're still going to get some of that charcoal flavor in with it. And that's what confuses some people sometimes. So just keep that in mind. You know, if you're going from charcoal grill to a pellet smoker, do not expect for it to have the same flavors. Now, if you go to a pellet smoker from a charcoal grill and you love smoke flavor, then you can play around with the pellet flavors. You know, if I love that smoke flavor, then I would go ahead and start off with a mesquite, because that's going to be probably the strongest smoke flavor out of a pellet. And then go, you know, to your other hardwoods, your hickories, your oaks, those kind of things. All the way down to the other end, if you go with alder, I mean, you're not going to get much smoke flavor at all. And then you've got your fruit woods all the way back up to your pecan and stuff like that. So you can play with the flavors of your pellets, or if you've got a stick burner, different types of woods, and see what you like the best. But if you're looking for the charcoal flavor, you're not going to get that without having charcoal as a fuel. So keep that in mind. That sounds awesome, Smiley. Smiley cooking it up for the school community day Saturday. That's going to be good. Going to be good. So I hope that made sense. And while I was talking, it's hard for me to concentrate on these comments. But I mean, y'all tell me if that makes sense to you guys. Tell me what y'all think. Looking back on some of the comments a little bit. And, you know, and like Chad said, you know, I do like the smell of charcoal smoke. You know, it's not that I really like the smell of charcoal smoke. I like the cleaner smoke from a pellet smoker, but you get that authentic Americana, I guess, memories of, you know, having cookouts at a birthday party when you were 6 years old at a park, with that charcoal flavor, you know. And sometimes it's just good to cook you an old burger on some charcoal, nostalgic. That's right. But that's just, my 2 cents about smoke flavors with people coming from charcoal type grills to pellet smokers and not being happy with the smoke flavor that they're getting. I think it might be that they're just not getting the flavor that they're used to getting off a charcoal grill, but it's just not going to happen. Now, Peter, that's a good point. There is a brand, maybe a couple brands that have a charwood pellet now. I just haven't tried it and probably won't try it. Because like I say, if I wanted to have a charcoal flavor, then I would cook on my Weber kettle or my pit barrel cooker. So Fred says he needs a smoker. Harley, Fred needs a smoker. We need to do something about that. 15 pounds of ribs and strips and a day to experiment. Fred, you can probably put away some ribs, can't you? Fred, you need time. You need some time to just chill out and barbecue is what you need. GoFundMe for Fred, Justin says. Jack Daniel's pellets are good stuff too. Yeah. And they have a little bit of the Jack Daniel's barrels too, I think, the flavor from those barrels. Chanel's all about some ribs. That's good stuff. By the way, Harley was here yesterday, and let's see, Gavin, I prefer the smoke flavor from my Traeger than the smoke flavor I get from my Weber kettle with charcoal briquettes and lump wood. Yeah. And I kind of agree with you, Gavin. I mean, I do. I just think it's a cleaner flavor. I mean, I do. So Harley came yesterday, and guys, y'all tell me what y'all think about this. But Harley stole my my ironwood. He took the ironwood back. Now, it'd been sitting here long enough; it should have been mine. But he came by and took the ironwood back. But he did leave a replacement. He left me a Traeger Timberline 850 to play with a little bit. So I played with that a little bit today, yesterday and today. And I learned some new stuff today, watching it and watching how it works and listening to it. And I'm probably going to do a review of that Timberline 850 after about another week of using it, so I can give you my honest opinion on it. But stuff that I learned today, I really like. I do get the best brother ever award. You're right, Harley. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I'm probably the GOAT of all brothers. I'm sure Harley was talking about himself there, but I'll probably do a review of the of that 850 ironwood. I mean the Timberline 850. But what I saw today was really cool. And what I learned from it today and how it works and all that. And I use those flat iron steaks. I'll tell you a little bit about how I did those on there. I was just curious about it. And yeah, they're Harley, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think the ironwoods are already being sold, aren't they? The new ironwoods. But I started them out really low at 175, which I never cook at on my pellet smokers. And I hit the super smoke setting and just let them smoke for about a half hour. And then I cut them up to 275 and let them get up to about 125. And then I took them off, cranked it up to 500, and then seared them off. And I was impressed with the way that thing performed. And I'll leave it at that for now. But I was really impressed. That's the most advanced grill smoker that I've ever used. And I've always said that I wouldn't like, I've never been one to look at a grill for Wi-Fi or anything like that, and I still didn't use the Wi-Fi because my router here in the big metropolis of Claxton, Georgia, is not strong enough to reach to the other side of the house to my back porch. From the wonderful people at Comcast. But that's the only choice I have. The only internet provider on this street is Comcast. Awful. Awful. But I'm not going to get bent out of shape about it. I'm not going to stress out. I'm going to drink some more cast iron. And forget about Comcast. Nighthawk router. Now, is that going to do anything if I still have the same provider, John? I'm trying not to get triggered. I'm trying not to. Comcast is awful. The worst customer service ever. They're the GOAT of worst customer service of all time. My signal. Well, here's the thing. Let me explain this a little bit. My signal's good out to the back porch. Like I can run my phone, listen to music out there on the back porch and all that stuff. But it won't connect to the grill. It's having trouble connecting to the grill for some reason. I'm gonna try to get it figured out. It's an old. I looked it up yesterday, Keith. It's an old. I don't even know if it's supposed to be 2.4 gigahertz to connect to the grill, and I don't even know what this thing is. The WOT, yeah, they are the WOT. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I'm starting to sweat. Anyway, the grill is amazing. I like it. I'm a fan. I may need to do a router upgrade. And I can probably do a router. They've probably already done a router upgrade with Comcast. But see, they're not going to tell the older customers about the upgrade. They're just going to keep letting you pay the same stuff for the junk that you've already got until you realize the guy next door has an upgraded router. Oh, yeah, those have been out a couple years. That's how they operate. John, Kelly, you never know what you're going to get at Jus Piddlin BBQ show. I mean, sometimes it's a barbecue show, sometimes it's a comedy show. You never know. Sometimes it's a soapbox show. I do get on my soapbox sometimes. You know what I'm going to do one night? One night I'm going to get my wife to film me doing this show so that y'all can see what everything around me looks like. when I was doing it in the living room, I had a clip light on top of our flat screen TV. And then I had one of my dining room chairs pulled into the living room with a clip light on top of that. And I had another chair with my camera mounted to it over. I mean, it looks like an airport runway in my living room. Hey, piddling ain't easy. Piddling ain't easy. That's gonna. Oh, by the way, I was just finna say that could be the next T-shirt. Piddling ain't easy. But speaking of that, I just put a preview of the March shirt on Facebook, on my Facebook page. The shirts were shipped today, so I should get them hopefully by the weekend. And hopefully I'll have them up on the website by Monday, March 4th, just in time for St. Patrick's Day. Everybody needs a St. Patrick's Day shirt, and everybody needs a Jus Piddlin BBQ shirt. So I have done the greatest of all time shirt designs and combined them both with a Jus Piddlin logo and a St. Patrick's Day theme on it. So y'all check that out on Facebook, on my Facebook page. The Jus Piddlin BBQ March shirt preview is on there. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. I got some smalls. Stephen. No, I don't have any smalls. I got mediums. Stephen, you're not going to need a small, man. My wife wears a medium. You're not smaller than my wife. Fred, as a matter of fact, you need to find the message that I sent you on Instagram and read it and get back to me. Fred, me and you need to exchange phone numbers so I can start sending you a text or something. I know you're a busy man. Matthew Hunt, hello, sir. Good to have you. I'll tell you something else I didn't realize until this week. It's kind of strange. I was telling Harley about it. I've had a couple of people this week. A medium will still be fine, Stephen. Man, you need to eat some more ribs. Oh, wow. Everybody, you see what I'm saying? Not every company's going to do that right there. Fred is the president of a company. He's the president, CEO. Well, Chanel might be the CEO. He's the president. And he's giving out his own personal phone number on the back of the bags of coffee. How about that? That's customer service to the 10th degree. That's the goat of all customer service. That's the epitome of customer service right there. Well, I'm fixing to put it in my phone, Fred, so I can holler at you a little bit. Mike Tabor's just putting it out there for everybody. No, that ain't it, Mark. Mike, Mike, is that your phone number? Jerry, you talking about the new shirt? You like it? Yeah. Well, I corrected that pretty quick, Fred. I knew Chanel was if mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. IBCC is the GOAT, Rick. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Appreciate it, Fred. That's one reason why I need you to check that message. But again, hopefully I'll make an announcement when I get the shirts loaded up on the website. But y'all just keep those in mind for March. Yeah, that's fine, man. I know you're busy. I just want a good way to get in touch, because I know that's the thing about, like you having a business, or like me with the the channel, like people comment on videos on my channel, and I try to stay up to date and answer everybody on my channel. But then some people might comment on my Facebook page, and I forget to check my Facebook page. But then somebody might comment on my Instagram and send me a message on Instagram, and I always forget to check that thing. Or somebody might go to Facebook, but then send me a message on Facebook Messenger. So it's like, it's hard to keep up with all of it, you know? So I get it, man. I'm with you. I'm with you. Okay. Brenton, good to see you, man. Better late than never, brother. Good to have you. But what I was going to say is, I've had a couple comments from people this week that have said that they've been watching the live feeds for weeks. And I'm thinking, I've never seen their name pop up on here, you know? But evidently, it seems strange, but it's kind of cool too. Evidently, there's a lot more people that watch these live streams, but they don't comment. So I guess they're just sitting back chilling, you know, watching this bald dude talk about stuff, which is cool. I like it. And I find myself doing that with other channels. I'll sit there and watch a guy talk about nothing, but he might be an interesting dude, or he's doing, you know, whatever. And I watch him. So I get it. Russ Jones, smoky ribs. Russ says they could be hiding in the grass like me. Russ, you ever had any stalkers? I've always wondered about that. You ever had any stalkers? My wife has wondered a couple times. Brenton, God bless you, man. Thank you. Much appreciated. I've had a couple guys that my wife has wondered about and thought about getting maybe some kind of court order against them or something. I had one guy that was, I think I told y'all, he was texting me pictures of like every cook, or it'd be midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. He'd send me a message or something, you know, and it got kind of weird there for a little while until he realized I was a conservative and he didn't like my views. And then all of a sudden I was blocked from everything. So I haven't had to worry about that anymore. Watching from Manitoba. Jim, I appreciate that. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you for commenting. Earl has been hiding in the grass. He's been listening. Earl, glad you made it, man. Bushy Botto, I guess I'm pronouncing that right. Good to have you. It's good to see these new names up here. Good stuff. So hopefully the shirts will be on the website Monday the 4th. If it's earlier, then I'll let you know. But if it's on the 4th, I'll put it out and I'll let everybody know. But plan on getting your Jus Piddlin BBQ St. Patrick's Day shirts. They're going to be the same shirt, just a different color. So if you like those shirts and you've already ordered some of this shirt and you like the way it fits, just order the same size. I appreciate all those. I think I've got 14 shirts left of this. They're all larges and extra larges. That's all I have left. All the mugs are gone now. I've got 3 stickers left. 3 stickers left, but I'm getting some more this week. So I'll have some more stickers too. So good stuff. Wrap or no wrap your ribs? Great question, Matthew. That depends on what you're wanting, Matthew. If you're wanting fall off the bone, and I'll go ahead and tell you, to me, there is no wrong answer. Some people, if you ask, they're going to tell you, if it ain't this way, you're just messing up the ribs. If you like, I know it. Wow, hardly seen it. I'm trying to do a daggum live streaming. My brother's sending me videos of what he's cooking on the grill. If you like fall off the bone ribs, I would say wrap, because, and you know, the 3-2-1 method is a good rule of thumb to go by. I don't go by that specifically because I think they get too done. So for me, it's more like a 3, 1.5, half, something like that. But the 3-2-1 method, you know, 3 hours on, pull them off, wrap them for 2 hours, and then unwrap them for about an hour. But again, I feel like they're a little bit too done if you do that. But if you want some dry ribs, and by dry, I mean just a dry rub on them. You don't want them to fall off the bone, but you still want them, you know, done with a good bite. Then I would say unwrap them. I like them both ways. There for a long time, I liked them fall off the bone and I wrapped them. But after I started doing them unwrapped, and especially after I got the pit barrel cooker, I don't wrap them anymore. I just cook them until they're done. And sometimes towards the end, I'll pull them off and sauce them just so the sauce doesn't get burnt. Or sometimes I just keep them dry. Either way, they're good. So it depends on what you want. There is no wrong answer. What determines whether you're going to wrap them or not is what the end result that you're trying to achieve is going to be. If you want them to fall off the bone or really tender, at least, I would wrap them. If you don't, then I wouldn't wrap them. So y'all tell me what y'all think about that. What do y'all normally do? Rick, I got all kind of stuff going on. Matthew says 2-2-1. Yeah. I mean, adjust it to your liking, you know. You know, adjust it to your taste and your liking. So I like to put brown sugar and butter on them when I wrap them. Yeah, Dean, a lot of people do that. A little brown sugar, a little butter. Some people put some apple juice in there. I've seen a lot, or honey. I think I've done honey once before in one of my videos. So there's a lot of different things that you can put in those ribs. Yeah, and Russ, I think, I don't even know if I've ever seen Russ wrap his ribs that I can think of. But they always look amazing. They always look amazing. Russ, matter of fact, my brother Harley that's on here now, I sent him a link to your channel earlier today and told him to get on there and check your stuff out. Great channel. And like I said last week, you know, I've got a lot of buddies that and friends that have helped me out with the channels. And Troy was on here the other week, and Greg with Ballistic Barbecue, and Russ is another one that has helped me out tremendously with getting my channel started and learning what I needed to do and what I didn't need to do and all that stuff. And so, Russ, I appreciate your help, man. And the example that you set on how you do your channel, if you hadn't checked Russ out at Smoky Ribs Barbecue, you need to go check him out. He's got some outstanding stuff. And if nothing else, if you want to know how to do a really good low country boil or a crawfish cook, he's the man. He is the man with that stuff. And I've done some, you know, Harley knows I do low country boils a couple times a year. I got a little steamer and stuff. And Earl, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you, man. And for some reason, I've never filmed one. But, you know, and Russ, you tell me how you feel about this. But, you know, most of the time when you do a low country boil or something, it's because you're having a gathering, you know, and there's a lot of people and kind of a party or whatever, you know. And I just feel kind of strange filming something while I've got company over, you know. So I guess that's something I'm going to have to get over if I'm going if I want to do some videos like that. That's just kind of felt a little strange to me. Gavin says he wants to try some whole smoked trout. I have done trout. I have done saltwater trout on the grill, Gavin. And it turns out awesome. But now how I did it was I made a tinfoil, kind of like a little tinfoil tray, and put the saltwater trout in there with some compound butter and slice of lemon on top with some lemon pepper, and just grilled them like that. And then you just take your little fork and shred the meat off the bone, and it was awesome. So, I'm not sure what kind of trout you're getting in Australia, but that might be an idea for you. Smiley. Chad Roberts, the camera loves me, cuz, so feel free. Yeah, next time Chad's over, I'm just going to start filming. We're going to do a video. I don't know what it's going to be, but we're just going to film it. Jimbo Q says, check out Russ's Rusty Dog. He does some good chili dogs, too. Jim K, I'm from Brunswick. How about that? Awesome, Jim. Jim, you're probably, I don't know, hour and a half away, I guess. I've been to Brunswick. I don't know if you've been to Claxton, Jim. The fruitcake capital of the world. I'm sure it does roll better. And, the beverages are flowing too, so you kind of forget about it after a while, I guess. Of course, I'm sure there's a lot of editing that has to be done too, I imagine. At least there would be with the crew that I would probably have over here. Live stream. And again, I think about that a lot, Jerry, live streaming a cook. I kind of want to do that. But it would have to be a cook that's not quite as long, I'm still thinking about that. What I could cook that I could live stream while I'm doing the cook. That would be kind of cool. I don't know if I've seen that, but I might do that. Wings would be a good one. Wings would be a good live cook. Not a bad idea, Justin. That might be good. Burgers. Burgers might be good. Slow smoke some burgers. No flip burgers. Oh, by the way, Matthew, you just reminded me. And man, I hope it's not anybody that's on here. And I commented on it, and I couldn't help it. A guy got onto and it was one of them Facebook groups again. I know, I need to stay off of them. It was a Facebook group. And the guy got on there and said that he was trying to get his grill up to 500 degrees. And he had waited 45 minutes for his grill to get up to 500 degrees, and it only got up to like 475. And so he finally decided he was tired of waiting and it was close enough. So he put his burgers on. And I'm thinking, you're fixing to cook burgers at 500 degrees. And so that's kind of, I put burgers at 500 degrees with a question mark. And also it was on a pellet smoker. And that's another thing about pellet smokers that I have found is my cooking style has totally changed on a pellet smoker versus, say, a Weber kettle or any other grill that I have. My pellet smokers rarely ever get over 350. And that's only if I'm going to use it more as a baking type thing, or if I'm cooking chicken and I want a crispy crust, crispy skin. But otherwise, if I do burgers, I'm usually just like no flipping them, smoking them, and they get that nice mahogany red color on the outside. They're nice and juicy. Even steaks, I do steaks like that now. I just put marinate a steak and, you know, some Worcestershire or whatever you want to marinate it in, and then put that thing on there at 275, 250, 275, and just smoke it. And until it's the desired temp that I want, and pull it off. And you can like shred it with a fork almost. But, you know, these guys that get these pellet smokers and still want to, you know, fire that thing up to 500 degrees and just sear the piss out of something. It's not like, to me anyway, it's a totally different cooking style. It's not suited as much for hot and fast as it is for a low and slow type cooker, in my opinion. But he was cooking burgers at 500 degrees. So I would think if they had any thickness to them at all, that the outside was crunchy and the inside was still not very done. But I don't know. But I'm sorry, that Matthew's comment kind of triggered me into thinking about that. Now, I have reverse seared in a cast iron pan before on my pellet smoker after cooking steaks with some butter and some rosemary and stuff like that. And it turned out good, but I just think it's a different cooking style than people are used to. Steven says, I can count on one hand the times that on a pellet smoker, I've been turned to 300 or above. Yeah, I just don't cook high temps very much. And Gavin, that's a great point. Jerry, that's what I was thinking too. Hockey puck came to mind. Yeah, Russ, I agree 100%. And that is the perfect time to crank that heat up, is when you're doing a smash burger, because it's only going to take about a minute per side and that thing's done. And that's a great point. And you can't beat a smash burger, but hot to me. But Gavin, you make a good point. You know, Gavin said if he's going to do that, then he's just going to break out his Weber kettle. And that's a perfect point, which is what I said last week. You know, if I'm going to cook steaks, then I'm going to pull out my Watchman stove and throw some red oak or some maple or something in there with some stick wood, and that thing cooks some of the best steaks I've ever had. If I'm going to cook ribs, then I'm probably going to, now my pellet smokers cook good ribs, but in my opinion, not as good as a pit barrel cooker does. So I'm going to get the pit barrel cooker back out and cook my ribs on that. If I'm going to do a Boston butt, it's probably going to be on one of the pellet smokers. Or, and you know, Russ does these sometimes, a smoked chuck roast, some kind of beef roast. Those turn out amazing on a pellet smoker. And then about halfway through, put them in that pan with some butter and some good pepperoncini peppers with the juice in it and all that stuff. Man, that stuff is awesome. My mouth's watering thinking about that. And Smiley said it too. I'm one of them guys, and Harley's this way. Harley cooks a little faster than I do, though. I like one of them guys that you know, if I'm gonna go out back and cook something on my back porch, I at least want it to last 2 cold brews. You know, something that I can put in a stubby holder, and you know, I at least want it to take a couple of those, you know, while I can listen to some tunes and enjoy the smell of the smoke and all that stuff. You know, you fire that thing up to 500 degrees and throw some beef patties on there, they're going to be done before, you know, you can pop a top on something. So that's kind of my measurement of how long I want the cooks to last. And I would rather them last longer than shorter, to me. So Cedar plank salmon, that's good. You know, the cedar plank part is another thing that I've been questioning about when I was thinking about some of the barbecue myths that we've been talking about. You know, just to mention a few. You know, the fat cap up or down, searing a steak. You know, what does that really do? All that stuff. You know, I've wondered really. I mean, does the cedar plank really do anything? Does it really add any flavor to anything? And if the truth was to be told, I would bet it probably really doesn't do a whole lot. But it looks cool. I've always wanted to try one of those Himalayan salt blocks that you cook on. I've never tried one of those, but I've always wanted to try one to see how they do. Justin says it does on the salmon. Justin, I believe you. Matthew says it impresses my wife. Well, that's all that matters. That's the end of that discussion right there, Matthew. That's all you need to know. And see, Russ says he doesn't like the taste of cedar, but he uses the oak and alder planks. And again, I'm living in where I live. It's almost like it's a third world country or something. You know, the only thing that I have ever seen in stores around here is cedar. I've never even seen an oak or a alder plank in any of these stores around here. But that'd be interesting to try. Kip, thank you for joining us. And really, all seriousness, Kip, I appreciate you joining before Rick got in. So, you know, that's a good point too. Is I order so much stuff from Amazon, but I always forget about ordering stuff like that from Amazon. But that's a good idea right there. Peter says all they use in Seattle for salmon is alder. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'll have to check that out. All right, guys, we've been going about an hour and 20 minutes, and I don't want to bore you guys to death. Just a couple reminders before we go. Iron Bean Coffee Company. If you haven't checked them out, check them out. Fred and Chanel are amazing, amazing people. Marine Corps veteran. He's a brother. Cast iron is the best coffee I've ever had in my life. That's the truth. Before we go, Russ, I want to know, Russ, have you ever tried Vegemite? And if so, what did you think of it? Because I'm doing a live taste testing of Vegemite, and this is from Australia. One of my viewers from Australia sent it to me. And I'm doing a live taste test of Vegemite Saturday at 2 p.m. Let me know if you've tried Vegemite and tell me what I'm getting into. It don't smell good. Well, there it is. Straight from Australia. Look at that. I mean, it's like axle grease that has solidified is what it is. I can't believe, well, there it is. Straight from Australia. From the land down under. From the Northern Territory. No, it's Gavin McGregor. Gavin McGregor from the Northern Territory sent me, I asked him about Vegemite. And he said, yeah, let me send you something. I said, no, man, it'd be too expensive. And we got to talking back and forth on this live stream. And he wanted a coffee mug. So he said, so we come to an agreement. He sends me the Vegemite and I'll send him a coffee mug. So this is probably the most expensive jar of Vegemite on the planet. And the most expensive coffee mug that I sent him is about 2 days away from him. It's in a 4-wheel drive Jeep somewhere, dodging kangaroos going across the outback as we speak. Yeah, well, you need to, Russ, you need to get her to send you some Vegemite and see what you think. But I'm going to taste test it Saturday at 2 p.m. on a live stream. There's Gavin right there, Russ. Gavin McGregor. Gavin says it makes good camo paint. Yeah, there's no telling what all you could probably use this for axle grease. It probably has no telling what kind of uses. Made in Australia from at least 95% Australian ingredients. B vitamins for vitality. I mean, I don't know. But it's going down Saturday at 2 p.m. So that's happening. So I got that. I got some Australian seasoned salts and some honey hazelnuts covered in milk chocolate. These are not keto friendly, but man, they're good. So thank you, Gavin, mate from the land down under. So check out Iron Bean Coffee, Vegemite taste test, Saturday 2 p.m. live. I'll put some reminders on Facebook and all that stuff. If you haven't checked out the myth video I did this past weekend on the argument of fat cap up or down, check that out. And also be looking for some Timberline 850 pellet smoker videos. And I'm going to do a review of that Traeger Timberline 850 in about a week or so after I use it a little bit more. So I guess that's going to be about it for this live stream. I can't say it enough, and I know I say it all the time. And, Russ, I know you feel this way about your subscribers, and a lot of these guys probably are your subscribers. But I'm extremely lucky and blessed to have these guys on my channel, and it participates. Ballistic Barbecue. There it is. Greg, Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern. The taste test is going down. I just wanted to do it when everybody could get on there and watch. Well, you didn't miss the taste test. I'm going to do it Saturday at 2 p.m. so everybody can kind of join in. But, I mean, look at that. My brother says it smells like canned ravioli, but it smells like bread. But then it has that like a fake cheese whiz type smell or something. Or I mean, we could go ahead and take it all the way to tar heroin. You might as well. I'll agree with you. It does look like tar heroin. It probably tastes like it. So that's going down Saturday, 2 p.m. Hour and a half, guys. I appreciate you listening to me for an hour and a half. I'm extremely lucky to have all you guys and to be associated with you. Can't thank you enough. So with that, I'm getting choked on a chocolate covered Australian hazelnut. Did I get the pork butt pic? Where'd you send it, Mark? Let me know where you sent it and I'll look for it. Well, Rick, if you hadn't have been late, you would have heard that I want to do it Saturday because some of the people were saying that they weren't going to be able to tune in tonight. So I figured Saturday, everybody's going to be grilling anyway and all that. No, Rick, this isn't going to go bad. This, you could leave the top off of it and nothing is going to happen to this for 200 years. I think it's already gone bad. Well, Greg, I hate for you to miss it. And I hate for you to miss it so much that, like I said last week, I may just send it to you and let you try it for you. Get up close and personal with it, We don't have smell-o-vision here on the Jus Piddlin BBQ show. And there's nothing like the up close and personal experience of Vegemite. So after I get a little bit of it, I may just pass the wealth around, And then you can send it. This will be the YouTube community Vegemite jar. You can pass it down to, Russ over at Smoky Ribs, and then he can send it to T-Roy Cooks, and everybody do. It could be the barbecue YouTube Vegemite challenge, but everybody has to use the same jar. As long as nobody uses their finger or anything, that'd be a party foul, but keep it clean. Everybody uses, because this is original jar from Australia, from Gavin, right there, Gavin McGregor. And then we could probably pass it down to our grandkids because it's still going to be here. Because I can promise you that's not going to be a staple at the Smith household. No offense, Gavin. The people over in Australia, they like it. I've watched some videos of them. They like it. I saw the guy on TV, the Hugh Jackman, the Wolverine guy. He likes it. He's from Australia. He put it on some bread and a little dab will do you over the bread and eats it. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to close that tonight, guys. And again, thank you so much for everybody tuning in. I'm very blessed and humbled. And I appreciate all of you. Can you overdose on it? No, I'm going to say you can't overdose on it, Russ, because I don't think you're going to be able to stomach enough to overdose on it. What is a serving size? I don't know. Serving size per container. It says 44, I think. I don't know. It's in it's like microscopic, so I can't even read it. You're not going to eat a whole serving size. I can tell you that right now. Ever. And I'm with you, Greg. It does look like tar heroin. If you got caught with that in your car, you'd probably go to jail. That's probably why it took so long for it to get over here from Australia, because they were looking at it through customs. It's probably already been opened. 1 tablespoon per slice of bread. No, Gavin. You're not putting a whole tablespoon on a piece of bread. Gavin's trying to, you're taking the piss out of me, Gavin, is what they would say. All right, guys, thank you for watching. Until next time, I'll be piddling.